The key thing here will be strengthening the power of the Assembly, which we already lead with the majority. Peter nodded in agreement. Yes, the divisions of power need to be rebalanced for a better Swordland. According to the initial draft we made with the reformists, there are 2 changes to the Constitution that are not open for their discussion. Lucian opened his dossier, probably. First, the Supreme Court will no longer vote on constitutional amendments. That seems okay. Second, the president's absolute veto will be taken away. This can be replaced with a limited veto system by fixing the current loopholes. Okay, I have no problem, yeah. Like, our Supreme Court, it can invalidate whole laws or governmental decrees. Yeah, so, yeah, I see no problem with these clauses at all. Let's work with the reformists. Yes, sir. Lucian nodded. We'll form a reform committee together with all parties and start reaching out to all the stakeholders, I originally read that as skateboarders, in the Assembly and the Court for a new constitution. By later in the year, we should have an idea of the reform contents and what the other parties want. Lucian took notes. Other important point, we must be aware of the Lotharberg Group. The oligarchs convene under this organization to influence economic policies. Conrath led it for a long time before falling ill. The new leader is Mr. Walter Tusk. He doesn't even look like a walrus or anything. I'm just sad. So Walter Tusk is a millionaire businessman, investor, and the current spokesperson of the Lotharberg Group. He owns the Economists Group. Okay, well, we've been reading his newspaper. And he's a major stakeholder of Swordfish steel company Bergia Steel. According to Lockhaven Times, he's the 8th richest sword as of 1953. Walter began his career as an engineer after graduating with a degree in electrical engineering from Kings Hill University, one of the League of Trident. Later on, Walter established several small businesses with his friends from college, including a restaurant, a company that imported cigarettes, and a car wash business. After his successes as a businessman, he formed a very successful company that produced machinery parts and electrical wires, which earned him millions of Swordfish Ren. During the largely unregulated privatization of former state-controlled industries of late 1940s, Walter was able to acquire the shares of several important companies for a fraction of their estimated market value. He later became a member of the influential of the influential Lotharberg Group. There you go. He is credited for his large contributions into the energy industry in Swordland. Walter is also known for his international ties due to his investments in Lesbia, Agnolia, and Arcacia, so he probably would like us a lot. Walter is generally regarded as the leader of the Lotharberg Group, and due to his connections, the most important businessman in Swordland. Okay. According to reports, some members of the National Business Council are in their pockets. Tusk and the group will surely try to bribe us in exchange for special economic protections. Well, I mean... I won't be bought, right? I want to work with them anyway. Do I want to work with them anyway? I think so. It might be a good way to even boost the economy a little bit, maybe. It depends. It depends. Depends on what they'd want, I guess. I want to work with them anyway. The new administration will be open to talk to businessmen. It's always easier for the administration to have businesses' support. Lucian looked at Peter. As far as I know, Marcel Coranti has some strong ties to this group. His influence could definitely be an asset for us, but I'm sure he'll want something in return. Marcel Coranti is a Swordfish businessman, philanthropist, entrepreneur, who's the son of the media proprietor, Conrath Coranti. He operates the HOS Advertising, the largest advertising company in Swordland. He's also a board member of the HOS, Swordland's largest conglomerate operating in the media, energy, construction, trade, and tourism industries. He previously served as the chairman of HOS Resorts, a luxury hotel group with 12 destinations in 8 countries. Caronte obtained a bachelor's degree from the Perla School of Business and a master's degree in media and communications from Harkrad University in Verentry City, Arcadia. A lot of people came from Arcadia or have ties to there, it seems. In 1940, Caronte joined the Swedish Broadcasting Corporation as vice president in charge of advertising. Before being transferred to the HOS Resorts chain by Conrad Caronte 3 years later, he transformed HOS Resorts from a leading hotel chain in Sörland into an international powerhouse through his expansion of the brand into 7 different countries. In 1950, he left HOS Resorts and started operating the HOS Advertising, the advertising company within the HOS Media Group of the HOS conglomerate. Okay. See, I am now aware of Mr. Caronte's wide network, and I do believe that could come in handy. We just need to be careful with him. He looks like the lesser evil, but it could very quickly turn out to be the other way around. We need to tread carefully on all... Wait, just want to make sure... Yeah, okay. We need to tread carefully on all sides with all power players to survive our term. I need to underline the seriousness of the situation. The military and the general staff are a powerful element in the state, and as history tells us, a dangerous one too. We do have some room to make structural changes, by reducing their budget, for example, but it is quite limited. Yeah, I don't really think I need to lower the budget. Don't want to die in prison just like Artur Eswishi did. I still don't know how you say his last name. With the Rumberg threat on the horizon, we can't reduce our defense capability and anger our general staff. The military has been nothing but a burden on our society. We should do something drastic like cutting their funding. No. I want to receive the advice of the military before making up my mind. I think that makes the most sense. It is sad to listen to them, but they have very biased, narrow opinions. Patriotism clouds their minds. General Kruger is a specter of the past. Now, he's a 4-star general. Okay. Let's see what Kruger is all about. So the Swedish force. See, here's the thing, right? This is starting off with a lot of reading of like the codex, but I think that'll go away as we learn all of the guys, right? So we're getting a really reading heavy beginning, but later on we'll know who everybody is, right? So Valken Kruger is a Swedish 4-star general, the current chief of the Swedish Armed Forces, and the chief of the Swedish General Staff. He previously served as the chairman of the Chiefs of Staff of Army High Command and the second chief of Army Staff of the Swedish Army. He is the largest serving and the second most decorated officer in Sörland. Kruger served in the Imperial Army before 1923, holding positions such as colonel and major. In 1927, he supported General Luderan's military coup, but later turned against him after Luderan's mass executions in 1928. He was among the group of officers who organized under Colonel Sol in the Swedish Civil War. In 1929, Kruger was appointed Brigadier General and a member of the Swedish General Staff. He became famed for his military victory in 1933 along the Welland border, where his smaller brigade destroyed an entire rebel army. In the Battle of Suzerain, he was later awarded with the White Star by Tarkan Sol, the highest medal that can be bestowed upon an individual by the Swedish Armed Forces. Vulcan was one of the key supporters of Tarkan Sol during the 1930s and the 40s. He became chief of the armed forces in 1945, becoming the oldest person to hold that title. So he is definitely going to be against our administration a little bit, just based on how we're very unaligned with Tarkan Sol, and we even turned against him. So he's probably not going to like us too much, so we probably will have to deal with him in some way. Defense Minister Josef Lancia is more loyal to us compared to General Kruger. a fact that obviously can change with our actions. Either way, I see potential rift between the two since they are clearly of different minds. Okay, I'm curious. Guy's a nice mustache. Damn. Josef Lancy is a Swedish national security professional who serves as the Minister of Defense and Security of Swordland. He has been a member of the United Swordland Party since its formation in 1929, prior to his position as minister. He held the position of Inspector General of the Army, serving directly under the Chief of Staff of the Swedish Army. He was a captain during the Swordland Civil War and served under the command of Colonel Tarkin Sol before his presidency. He gained nationwide fame after his heroism and accomplishments as a major during the Welhen Civil War, which also earned him the highest military order. Josef became a popular figure after the wars and still is well respected among the nationalists. He is credited for several major military operations and known as an influential figure in the Swedish Armed Forces. He has been promoting the reformation of the army into a professional rather than a conscripted force. I think that is for the best. He was a big critic of Ewald Alfonso's policies. He gave support to Anton Rein and lobbied for major conservative support in the 1953 elections for the USP. He was appointed by the General Staff as the Minister of Defense and Security. So I do want to put a note down, because I do believe that we can see Josef as a possible ally. Josef, ally. Kruger, enemy. Right, so between the two, Josef is probably going to be the guy we go towards instead of Kruger. If we act strongly against the military, both of those guys will unite against us. I agree with Lucian. We need to tread carefully here. I think we get a strong, standing professional army. See, I'm talking as if I'm like really leading a country here, but I think we get a strong professional army. We get rid of the conscripted force, but we keep the army's budget intact. Because, you know, we do have a potential enemy that's way stronger than us. Lucian looks at his watch. Well then, gentlemen, precisely 30 minutes. This concludes our political briefing for today. Our next meeting will be about our media strategy. Talk to you soon, sir. I will keep in touch. See you both at the next meeting. All right, bye, Peter. Lucian and Peter bid their farewells and left. All right, so 'tis another day, perhaps. I declared my intention to work with the reformists for the constitutional reform. Yes. I hope I get more budget soon. All right, so Committee for Reforms. Speaker Gloria Torrey said that a committee which includes all three political parties of the Assembly has been formed for the preparation of potential changes to the Constitution. The committee has been asked to submit a comprehensive report to find a solution for the current problematic state of affairs in the governmental institutions. Torrey said USP wants to appeal to the people of Swordland to help in maintaining stability and order in the state. The details of the committee regarding its actual topics or its members have not been clarified. So the Lockhaven Times. Support in Assembly grows for campaign finance bill. All right. A bill to change the criteria for the allocation of public funds to political parties is proposed by Representative Albin Clavin from the USP. The bill aims to change the criteria from the proportion of votes won in general elections to proportion of seats won by a political party in the Grand National Assembly. This would result in an increase of about 28 million SR to the governing United Swordland Party, which will benefit the most from the proposed bill. The new bill would give political parties an annual amount of 500,000 SR per member of Assembly. I mean, I don't know. That one... I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll see when the bill comes out, right? Like, when the bill comes up. It probably will. The Swedish National League starts season. A very exciting day marks the Swedish National League. Kicks off with the SK Lockhaven versus Benfi FC match. The league, consisting of nearly 10 teams, has been gaining more and more popularity in recent decades, with tickets dropping significantly in prices, leading to increased accessibility. Football fans are looking forward to one of the key events of the league, the match of the two most competent teams, FC Anrika and FC Gelsord. Oof, see, now this is the scary thing. Rumberg coming south? Our foreign policy analysts who are reviewing the recent aggressive military and diplomatic developments of Rumberg have come to the conclusion that it is highly likely that Rumberg will keep trying to push further south, threatening the territories of Swordland, Welland, and possibly Agnolia. The annexation of Dome many decades ago was just the beginning. Rumberg seems to be on a quest to secure all strategic resources in East Mercopia. So we need strong allies here. We need lots of strong allies. Because yeah, we can't have Rumberg trying to, you know, take us over, right, for our resources. We can't go having that. So if we can form an alliance with Agnolia, with Welland, Lesbia, and possibly even Volksland, like that'd be really nice. Maybe we can get Arcacia on our side too. Increasing homelessness. The region of Bergia is among the worst hit regions in Swordland, where homelessness has skyrocketed since the economic recession. The number of homeless in the city of Dare is more likely to have increased by 25% in the last year. The rise is particularly stark amongst the Blutish people, where homelessness increased by 72% in just 6 years. It is reported that homelessness among ethnic minorities has reached the highest level in more than a decade. The Blutish minority of the region now account for up to 47% of all homeless people there. Okay. Just gonna see if there's any other news pop-ups. Don't see any. Public opinion report. People's views on the need for democratic reform in the government structure has changed over the last decade. Reformist propaganda from the leader of the People's Freedom and Justice Party, Franz Richter, have resulted in a massive increase in the demand for democratic reforms. It is estimated that currently 55% of the population supports the reformist ideas. Okay, so we're going to be doing a popular move. Lucian and Peter arrived at my office to talk about recent developments and media strategy. They both took their seats across from me. Lucian put on his reading glasses and quickly went over some documents. Peter turned to Lucian and nodded. Let's begin. First of all, Lucian, you mentioned that Marcel Caronte contacted you. Yes, that guy. The Carontes had always been known as one of the richest and most influential families in Swordland. Marcel Caronte was no exception. He was the oldest son of Conrad Caronte, the industrialist and media mogul who founded HOS, the richest man in the entirety of Swordland. Lucian turned to me. He has offered to meet with you, Mr. President. What does he want? After the passing of his father, may he rest in peace, Marcel aims to become the next CEO of the HOS conglomerate. He mentioned a productive collaboration. So the Heart of Swordland conglomerate, multi-industry corporation, worth tens of billions. Part of the Big Four, the four largest companies in Swordland. They're involved in many industries, but only have monopoly in the media industry through the ownership of Swordland Today. The Swordish Broadcasting Corporation, they're heavily involved in radio, television, advertising sectors. It was founded by Conrad Caronte, the first modern Swordish entrepreneur. Swordish citizens employed by HOS enjoy many benefits such as huge salary bonuses, free private healthcare, and free housing. See, this doesn't seem too bad. In the last decade, a leadership question has engulfed the organization, which slowed down its revenue. But it still remains a behemoth that can influence the economy, as well as the perception of the society on certain issues. Recently, the eldest son of Conrad, Marcel Caronte, has been the rising star of the conglomerate and the potential candidate for CEO. Okay, so, I don't know, it seems like, well, we'll see what he wants, but it doesn't seem too bad so far. They're a powerful and influential media conglomerate. To start with, they own the Swordland Today newspaper, the Swordish Broadcasting Corporation, which means it would be wise to have them by your side. Sorry for interrupting. what does this productive collaboration entail? He did not wish to explain the details over the phone, but rather in person. I believe I will be receiving a call from him sometime soon. However, as Peter said, they have substantial power over the contents of media outlets, headlines, radio shows. That is what he would be offering. What he wants in return is what we need to understand. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. First, we need to determine our general approach to media. Hey, River. River says, hey, I've been here from the beginning of the stream, but just been sidetracked. Perfectly fine, River. How you doing today? And welcome back to the stream. Hopefully you've been doing good, and hopefully you've been sidetracked with good things, right? Don't want to be sidetracked by sad stuff, right? Want you to be sidetracked by good things, if anything. But yeah, hopefully you've been doing good. I'm no media expert, but Lucian made some very interesting arguments at the preparation meeting yesterday. There are two ways we can approach the media. One of them is by influencing it, which has clear advantages. The other one is keeping it independent. River says I'm doing okay, thanks. That's good, that's good. How are you? I'm doing quite good, thank you. Having a pretty good day so far. Been really enjoying this. I'm not gonna lie. I've been really enjoying this. I know this isn't the kind of game for everybody, but I've been personally really digging this. But I like these kind of games, right? But I'm doing good. Other than a now sore throat that's starting to come up. Because after all this reading, your throat can get a little bit sore, not gonna lie. Good thing I have this water, though. See, that's why you always try to bring water to a stream, right? Because you never know when you might need it and when your throat might start to die. But yeah, overall doing pretty good, thank you. The media must be independent. Ideally, yes, but an unpopular leader will not be able to pass even the easiest reforms. It is of utmost importance to maintain public popularity and avoid any damaging scandals or mistakes. I must stress one thing, Mr. President. The more people we have supporting our agenda, the more we can accomplish. Excuse me. With someone on our side in an influential media organization, we can do this very easily. Yeah, I'm leaning towards two wrongs don't make a right. Maybe not. It's hard to forget what happened to President Alfonso last year. Things got even worse after his cabinet resigned and the media started to slander him. That was also a result of his own incompetence. 2 knocks were heard on the door. Please come in. Who are you? The new secretary. Miss Luvia Suno. My new secretary entered the office. Is the private secretary of President Anton Rain. She is tasked with directly handling most of the critical calls, scheduling and paperwork for the president. Suno had previously worked at the Swedish Airlines headquarters as the secretary of the director, before starting her work for the United Swordland Party National Committee in 1953, where she was assigned to assist Peter Victorn, who was organizing support for presidential nominee Anton Rain. After Rain's successful election, Suno began serving as the personal secretary in Rain's office at the Maroon Palace. Hey, Beth Sackwards, welcome back to the stream today. How you doing, friendo? Just popping in to say hi. Ooh, this game looks really cool. It is. It's my... I've said this a couple times already, and I'll certainly say it again. I could easily see this game not being for everybody, but it does suit a lot of things I like in a game like this. Right? Where there's a lot of story, a lot of backstory, a lot of lore, a lot of reading you can do, a lot of kind of preparing. Like, you can read about various people and maybe assume how they're gonna be around you and what would make them happy. But you gotta be into reading, right? Like, you gotta be into reading in kind of a very slow game, at least at the start. Best Soccer says, I'm doing well. Kind of reminds me of Crusader Kings. Yes, and its UI and more story focused. I agree, 100%. You know, there's actually a game coming out that I'm really interested in. But it sounds like it'd be... See, here's the thing, right? There's a game coming out. I don't remember what it's called. I do not remember what it's called. But, you know what? Let me have a look. Let me have a look real quick, because I want to find what it's called. I'll just do like a very basic one. That's for a song. That is for a song. That is not for... I think I have it on my wish list. Let me just see here. On my Steam wish list. Just gonna do this real quick. I have a lot on my wish list apparently. I don't think it's out yet, so I'll go by release date. Where are you? King's Orders. Here you go. So it's called King's Orders. Like, there's a game coming out at some point called King's Orders that I'm really, really intrigued by, because it sounds like a very different game. So we're going off of Swordland. We're going off of Suzerain for a moment just to talk about this other one. So King's Orders is a game that's not come out yet, but the really interesting thing about this is it does kind of give you the feeling of Crusader Kings, Europa Universalis, Victoria, you know, games I really, really do enjoy. But it's a very kind of simplified version of those games, which by that I mean you command your army, but you command it in a really realistic way by sending letters to your army. So you send letters with orders to your army. Messengers with the letters will travel by land and either can be lost or intercepted. And once they get your orders, the generals execute your orders and send you reports in the same dangerous way, apparently, as it says here. Well, you can't see it, but I'm looking at the thing, right? So it's a really interesting thing where your orders might be wrong by the time they get there. They might be not good. Or, you know, maybe you'll even lose... orders that have been, or documents that have been sent to you, right? Which sounds really interesting to me. And I guess they have multiple campaigns. But see, I like games like this, right? This is the thing. I really like games like this, like Suzerain and like King's Orders and stuff, where it's like, well, you take command, but it's different and unique, right? Like, I like it, you know. So I don't know. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it quite a lot. So her dark curls bounced as she crossed the room to my desk. She spoke with a slight lilt in her voice. Excuse me, Mr. President. Mr. Gallery's secretary has been calling me and wanted me to relay a message. Who is he again? Oh, it's Lucian. Yeah, that's right. That's his name. Marcel Caronti, the new CEO for HOS Conglomerate, is on the line for Mr. Galati. Well, the ball is in our court now. Would you like to talk to him, sir? Or would you like me to? I'll talk to him. Connect the line to my office. Right away, sir. Connecting the call to line 1. Livia left the room and the phone started ringing. Pick up the phone. I picked up the phone. It's a pleasure, Mr. Caronti. The pleasure is all mine. I know your time is valuable, so I will not waste any of it. I was just elected CEO of HOS. My strategy in the running of this conglomerate will be different than my father's approach. This is why I'm offering a partnership deal regarding our media branch. I would like to formally invite you to my resort near Conriat for a meeting to discuss the details. What does that entail? Our future as partners, Mr. President. Surely we can't talk about the details on the phone. I just wish to have a face-to-face conversation with you. I will send you the details through my secretary if you are interested. Thank you for the offer. I would be interested in the meeting. I would be. I want to know what he wants, right? You will not be disappointed. I promise. Well then, I will let you return to your packed schedule. See you later, Mr. President. See you later, Mr. Caronte. I hung up the phone. I'll set things up right away. Expect a worthwhile meeting next month. It's settled then. Looking forward to next month. I wonder if he has a pool. Lucian looked at his watch. It appears we're done for today. We will continue where we left off later. Thank you for your time. Good work with Marcel. Keep it up. Lucian and Peter nodded before gathering their documents and leaving my office. We were already getting the attention of key figures, and potentially dangerous ones. That game saved. Context added to Caronte. I accepted the offer to privately meet with the new CEO of HOS. Yes. Okay, so that's some more news. We'll do a tiny smidge more, and then I should probably consider calling it, because it will be around time. But we'll do, I think, like one more. We'll do one more meeting. Conrad Caronte passed away. The first and most important modern entrepreneur Sordland has ever seen has sadly passed away today. People looked up to Conrad Caronte as a figure of success, respect, and wealth. After his immediate passing, his son, Marcel Caronte, took over his title as the new CEO of the Heart of Sordland conglomerate. The glamorous inaugural ball. The whole Sword elite gathers for a lavish state ball. Many citizens in the country are uncertain about their own futures, but the state has no problems with wasting taxpayers' money right from the start. We demand that these traditions of wasteful nature will become a thing of the past once the president settles in. The team here at the Radical will keep fighting for a better, more equal tomorrow for all. Sordland's regional trade. As the Reign administration starts its first term, there's a question in all of our heads. What will be the regional international trade policy? Due to the strategic geopolitical location of Sordland, historically, Agnolia and Wellen, there you go, Wellen, have been natural trading partners. Depending on the direction of the Reign administration, we think it is likely that a new trade deal will be brokered with at least one of these partners in the near term. All in all, regardless of which trading partners the administration decides to go with, one thing is for sure: regional trade will boost the ailing economy. The real question is, what does Volksland or Lespia think about Sordland? That is a good question. What do they think of me currently? Neutral. And they have a strong military. And neutral. And they have a strong military. Alright. Committee report. Party committee report. The Reform Committee reports that any potential change to the Constitution in the direction of the reformists will likely result in strong opposition from the National Front Party. The members of Assembly in support of such direction seem to be in great numbers, and possibly make up a majority in the Grand National Assembly, while most members of the United Sordland Party seem reluctant about supporting such changes. Has to happen, though. It does have to happen. So, like, even looking at the legislative here, yeah, like, the Reform Party, I mean, they have a lot of seats, so I don't know. I think it should be pretty easy to pass, unless some of our own party vote against us, but hopefully not. The judiciary is where it's going to get a little bit kind of heated, I think. Like, I think we need to find a way to axe Orso Hawker. In a legal way, of course. Sign or veto the electoral campaign finance bill that was approved by the Grand National Assembly. I mean, it was approved. Grand National Assembly of the Republic of Swordland. So, okay, so see, here's kind of the thing though, right? I already said that I kind of want to give up my veto powers for the sake of democracy. So would that really be good to veto this then? So the electoral campaign finance bill. The criteria for the allocation of public funds shall no longer be according to the number of votes won in the general election by a political party. The new criteria shall be the proportion of seats won by a political party in the National Assembly. Political parties shall receive an annual amount of 500,000 Ren per member of assembly. This results in a doubling of the USP election budget and a slight increase in the other parties in the assembly, while effectively removing all funding from parties that are below 10% election threshold. So I'm trying to like think in my head. So I'm trying to think like politically, how does this work? Haitian public funds should no longer be according to the number of votes won in the general election. Proportion of seats won by a political party. So an annual amount of 500,000 Ren per member. I mean, yeah. I mean, okay, so who would we be pissing off? Any of the independents. And probably the National Front Party. So they're not gonna like this, more than likely. Cause yeah, like, what was... I know we saw percentages. Yeah, it was like around here, I think. No. Might have been this one. No, might have been this one. Yes. No. No. Maybe in this one. I know one of them talked about... Yeah, talked about actual percentages. It was this one. So we would be fucking over the Communists and the Workers' Party of Bludia. So this would kind of suck for them, and I would feel bad considering Bludia seems to be a really undervalued minority. I mean, it did pass. It was approved by the Grand National Assembly. So, yeah, we'll let it pass, I guess. Oh. Yeah. But this means we get more money, but that might be good to a degree. I mean, I'll sign it. I'll sign it and hope I don't mess up by doing that. The campaign finance bill has been signed into law by President Rain after the approval of the Grand National Assembly by majority vote on Friday following the 3-hour debate. Oh, so Franz Richter was against it. Franz Richter, who objected to the funding package, saying it contained too much unfairness in the allocation of the budget, also sought to delay proceedings by demanding a formal recorded vote, but was overruled. The new law brings small changes to the criteria for the allocation of the campaign budgets and introduces no changes to the total amount of public funds reserved for the political parties, which stands as 100 million SR. USP hijacks elections. A new law that further expands on the unfairness of our election system has been approved by the Grand National Assembly and was signed into law by President Rain. The new law changes the rules of eligibility of the public funds that are reserved for every political party in Swordland. Previously, the funds were given on the basis of the number of votes in the general elections. With these changes, the funds will be given on the basis of the number of seats the political party holds, which eliminates every party apart from the 3 that are currently in the assembly. This insane law also results in the governing United Swordland Party's share from the funds to double. As Anton Rain's presidency begins, we at the Radical are already smelling the rot in whole sword. We were never gonna please these people anyway. And to be fair, I feel like I was kind of dumb with how I was understanding that one. Invest in Arcasian company stocks. Okay, we'll do this one, then this will probably be the last one we do before we call it. Ooh. A personal investment opportunity has been relayed by Mr. Menger, an experienced stockbroker in Vinci City. Arcadia is selling valuable shares of Armadian Industries, an up-and-coming electronics manufacturing company. We could invest or let the opportunity pass. I think I'm going to invest. Because they were saying that that seemed like it was doing really well from what I remember. Yeah, I'll buy 1,000 shares. I mean, my personal wealth is now at 0, but, you know. Okay, do we do this and then end it? I think we do this and then we end it. I know I said one more thing, but I thought that was going to be another thing like this. I had just finished buttoning up my suit jacket when the doorbell rang. The presidential guard had arrived to pick us up for the inaugural ball. The ball was a 3-decade-old tradition, breathlessly anticipated by politicians, bureaucrats, and the press. All eyes were about to be on me. I called on Monica to get the children ready. Looking in the mirror, I straightened my tie and took a deep breath. After tonight, there would be no turning back. Suddenly, Deanna hugged me from behind, startling me a little. Monica had fixed her hair into an elaborate braid, woven through with ribbons. Papa, Mama told me it's time to go. Hello, darling. I'm ready. Where's your brother? I think Frank is still upstairs. She shrugged. It was almost time to leave. The big ball was starting in less than an hour. Now, where's my first lady? Monica came down the stairs. She was wearing a simple yet elegant beige sheath dress and short heels. Her hair had been neatly pinned into a chignon? Shingon? Okay, that one I'm not too sure on. Hey Mario, welcome back to the stream. How you doing today, friendo? Hopefully you're doing perfectly well. Showing off the pearl earrings I had given her for our 15th anniversary. All those years, she had stayed by my side. Now we were about to begin the most challenging chapter in our lives yet. How do you do, Mr. President? Just stand there and look at her. We'll kiss her hand. We're a loving family. She extended a gloved hand and I raised it to my lips. Now where the hell is Frank? Frank! Okay, I don't want to do that to my son who's probably maybe having a hard time. I'm not too sure. Monica, my love, you look as gorgeous as the day we married. We gotta be a happy couple, especially for the press. Now there's that charm that got you elected. Frank trudged down the stairs. This thing itches. Frank tugged at the collar of his new tuxedo. He seemed ill at ease. Don't make me wait again. See, saying I'm glad to have you with us for this big night seems really weird to say to your son. So are you good to go, Frank? Yes, the sooner we go, the sooner it'll be over, right? Papa, are these people going to be around us from now on? She pointed at the presidential guards at the door of the house. Needs extra protection. Well, I'd like to think my Anton would be on good terms with his guard, so... These people are our friends, Deanna. It's alright, baby. They're here to make sure nothing bad happens to your papa or his family. Monica held Deanna's hand. Together, flanked by the guards, we walked out the door. Halfway to the car, Frank stopped abruptly and turned towards me. Dad, do I really have to go? Couldn't I stay home instead? You'll be plenty of pretty girls to dance with. I mean, he is I mean, he is about that age where he would start caring about that, I guess. Don't make me angry, Frank. I love how he can just be an abusive dad. Nah, you know, maybe he is nervous. I'm nervous myself, Frank, but I'd feel a lot more confident with my son by my side. I think he'll appreciate that. Frank smiled reluctantly. Well, when you put it like that, sure, let's go. I'm sure he probably says the same thing if you mentioned like how he'd get to dance with girls too, right? The presidential guard showed us the way as red and blue lights flashed around us. Sergey, my driver, ushered us in our armored limousine. Into our armored limousine. The motorcade started moving towards the palace. I gazed out the window, deep in thought. Anton, what are you thinking about? Nothing. Nice car, isn't it? I was thinking that we've come a long way together, haven't we? Yes, we have. And there's still so much that we'll accomplish side by side. Just remember, no matter what happens, the children and I will always be here for you. I'm going to help Papa fix everything. See, Deanna's great. Deanna's a great kid. Frank rolled his eyes. I know you will, honey. This means a great deal to me. It would, honestly. This means a great deal to me. After it seemed like a few minutes, the convoy slowed to a halt. Sergey rolled down the limousine's soundproof partition. We are here, sir. Hope you enjoyed the drive. Much appreciated. How are you today? Sergey? I am just as good as I can be, but today is your day, sir. I'm glad you are in charge now. You know, my entire family voted for you. Thank you and your family. I am here with all of your support. No reason to thank me, sir. You are the one who sparked a glimmer of hope in us all. Sergey opened the door for me. The normally imposing palace was festooned? I've never heard the word festooned before, but I like it. With garish banners that nearly made it look cheerful. A line of shiny luxury sedans stretched around it. Politicians, bureaucrats, and celebrities. The creme de la creme of the Sardland elite streamed inside the building. Good luck out there, Mr. President. I'll see you on the trip home. I stepped out and immediately found myself surrounded by loud voices and camera flashes. Hordes of eager journalists thrust their portable microphones my way. Who's this? No codex entry for this one, she's just a reporter. My guards fended most of them off, but one woman managed to dodge them and corner me. I recognized the Swordfish Broadcasting Company logo on her press lanyard. Mr. President, do you plan on working together with the opposition parties on the expected constitutional reforms? Do you plan on working together with opposition parties on the expected constitutional reforms? We are going to work with everybody. I think that was the plan that Peter and my Anton spoke of. We're going to work with everybody. Mr. Richter clarified that as long as you hold your promises of democratization, they will support you on these issues to the end. What do you think about the statement? Do you want the other parties to join him in this endeavor? I welcome it. This is a challenge for us all. I don't think the other parties would really care. I don't think they would want to help. I allowed the new electoral campaign finance to pass into law. I decided to invest in blah, blah, blah. This is a challenge for us all. One more question. One of your first acts as president was to sign a campaign finance bill allocating public election funds by seats in the assembly as opposed to number of votes. Is this a deliberate attempt to defund the Communist Party and the Bluta Workers' Party, neither of which have reached the election threshold? No. To be fair, I signed it just because it passed. I'll be real. Again, I didn't completely understand the bill. See, maybe I would be a bad president. It's to ensure the USP has the funds we need to stay in power long enough to truly bring democracy to this country. That is kind of true, I guess. No, it's to ensure the USP has the funds we need to stay in power long enough to truly bring democracy to this country. That's enough, ma'am, said one of my guards while nudging the reporter away from me. A path through the crowd was now open, and we quickly made our way to the entrance of the palace. At the same time, a dozen fireworks went off. The entrance was decorated with beautiful ribbons in Swordland's colors of white, yellow, and maroon. A lush maroon carpet had been rolled down the stairs. We entered the lobby and joined the throngs of people making their way towards the ballroom. Behind me, I heard a familiar voice. There they are, the most beautiful family in Swordland. Uncle Peter! Hi, Uncle Peter. It's great to see you. You two are growing faster than I am getting wiser. Now, I hope this doesn't come across as mean. I want this to be more of a joke. Are you sure you've gotten any wiser, Peter? Maybe not. After all, I'm still sticking with you. Okay, see, good. I want that to come across as more of a joke. Happy to see a familiar face, Peter. Evelyn. Peter's wife, Evelyn, approached us and shook our hands with a firmness that belied her delicate features. Congratulations, Anton. Have to say, the results were clear to me from the beginning. There's a woman behind her, a successful woman. I mean, yes. Thank you. We both worked hard to make it happen. We know you did. You deserve the position. And tonight, we reap the rewards. Exactly. That's why we were here. No. Maybe. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Exactly. That's why we are here. We could start by getting some drinks. Peter grinned and beckoned a roving waiter. The four of us each took a glass of champagne. Yes, I know it's champagne. Leave me alone. Monica, how are you? You've barely said a word. I'm more than relieved to have this roller coaster ride over with. But of course, now the real work begins. Ah, yes, managing the help, planning parties, daily trips to the salon to look your best for foreign dignitaries. Don't be so old-fashioned, Evelyn. I plan to use my power as First Lady to advance the position of woman throughout Swordland. Equal rights for our sex are long overdue. Wouldn't you say, Anton? Yes. As long as you don't burn the toast, am I right, Peter? Up to a point, yes. They mustn't neglect their responsibilities to their husbands and families. Well, no. Okay, see, I'm gonna go for a more progressive Swordland. Never content to be just a pretty face, damn. Absolutely, and we'll work together to achieve that. See, because he has a good relationship with his wife, right? I want to keep this up. Monica flashed me a smile. Deanna suddenly jumped in between us and tugged on my sleeve. Papa, can we go? I want to see the ballroom. Of course, darling. Of course, my darling. Let's not delay any longer. Move to the ballroom. We left the lobby and made our way towards the ballroom. Inside, we were yet again surrounded by a noisy crowd, but this time it was the politicians who sought to appease the new authority in Swordland. I spent the next few hours shaking hands, joining various conversations, some serious, some superficial, and making speeches. We finally settled down at our dinner table with the Vecturns as the band started playing some slow jazz tunes. Oof, that was tiring. We have to get used to it. Well... Uh-oh. Doesn't sound too good. Suddenly, a loud banging noise echoed from outside the ballroom. Then another, and another. The musicians stopped playing. Everyone in the room was looking around in confusion. Peter and I turned towards each other, realization dawning on both our faces. Hold on. I assume this is almost done, but I also want to just message Megan really quick. Alright, cool. Peter and I turned towards each other, realization dawning on both of our faces. Fireworks? No! Gunshots! As soon as Monica heard the word, she lunged from her seat. Ooh. I'm gonna shield Monica and the kids. I threw myself on Monica, Deanna, and Frank to shield them. Papa, what's happening? I knew it. We never should have gone. Chaos breaks out as some guests flung themselves under their tables and others ran towards the doors, screaming. Deanna burst into tears while Frank tried to comfort her, hiding the fear in his own eyes. 3 more gunshots rang out loudly. Mr. President, are you all right? Who are you? You're the chief of police. Okay, we'll read up on him later. Mr. President, are you all right? Carl Grischer, head of the Swedish police force, was running towards us with 3 more police officers in decorated uniforms. They all had their guns drawn. As soon as he made it to us and saw that we were unharmed, he let out a big sigh of relief. Thank God. Check the perimeter. He turned around quickly to his men. Check the perimeter, now! Paul, Jensen, follow my lead. We will bring them to the safe room. He now turned to Monica, Evelyn, and the children and spoke in a softer voice. Do not worry. The situation is now under control. Please follow me. We promptly followed Carl through the winding halls and corridors of the palace. His men still had their guns drawn, which did nothing to ease the tension. On the way, Peter made an attempt to break the silence. What a fucking night. It's not over yet. Carl turned to us with a serious face as we were about to round a corner. Quiet, please. Sorry, I talk when I get nervous. Peter, shut up. Yeah, I could see Peter being a bit of a talker. Carl flipped a switch on the wall and the panel opened, revealing a hidden staircase leading to a large reinforced door. Inside, a set of emergency lights flickered on. The safe room was comfortable and spacious, with expensive-looking leather sofas. Small security monitors on the wall displayed grainy footage of each room in the palace. There was a boardroom and a pantry containing enough provisions to last us months. Monica and Evelyn sat the children down and started wiping their tears. Carl stepped away from us and made a few radio calls. When he was done, he returned to me and Peter. So, what's the status? We'll be calm. We'll be the calm leader. Carl's radio suddenly crackled to life. Every second felt like an eternity as he pressed his ear to the receiver. When it fell silent, he turned to us. Good news! We are not in any danger at the moment. The situation has been dealt with and the perimeter has been secured by the guards and the police. He glanced towards Monica, Evelyn, and the kids. If I may, sir. He gestured towards a more private corner of the room and started speaking more quietly. This is what we know so far. We have confirmed that 2 people are gunned down in front of the palace. The attacker is one of them, and we have reasons to believe that he was working alone. He fired 3 shots at an MP, 1 to the head, 2 to the body, instantly killing him. Presidential guards at the palace immediately shot and killed the attacker. He has not been identified yet and will require an investigation. The MP that was killed was identified as Bernard Circus. Yeah, he was the communist, which I thought might give me trouble. This is huge, Anton. This will cause a lot of problems. A lot of problems. Ugh. Peter pulled out 2 cigarettes and handed me one. He then turned to Evelyn. I could hear him trying to reassure her that everything was going to be all right. Monica was still trying to tend to Deanna as Frank paced the room, mumbling that he should have stayed home. Well, I gotta comfort Monica and the kids. I sat down beside my wife and children. We are safe. I'll make sure everything is going to be fine. We can't be sure of anything anymore, Anton. I lit my cigarette and took a deep drag. I was going to see this through and keep my family safe, at all costs. I crushed the cigarette on the ashtray. Well, damn. Well, that's certainly a way to leave us off then, isn't it? Jeez, that's very intense. Very, very intense. Yeah, all right. So we didn't even finish the first chapter of Suzerain yet. Man, this game's good. This game's really good. I'm liking it. Like I said before, it's not a game for everybody. That much is certainly clear. But I'm enjoying this quite a lot. Hopefully you guys are too. And if not, well, this game isn't very long anyway. So, yeah, don't worry. If you don't like it, we'll get on to other stuff soon enough, I'm sure. But I'm really enjoying this. Like I said, I know it's not for everybody, right? It's definitely not a game for everybody. But this is a game for me, 100%. So I can't wait to get back to this. I don't know what the plan is for tomorrow. To be honest, I'm not really too sure because I know Megan is gonna be, well, I'm pretty sure Megan's gonna be home, so I might see if we can do Ratchet. But if we can't do Ratchet, I'll probably do some more Suzerain. But yeah, really enjoying this game so far. I love how deep it is. I love how deep in thinking it is. So, and I love this menu music too, by the way. All right. So I guess that is it for me for now. So thank you very much, everybody, for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. And I shall catch you guys tomorrow for some more. Whether it's more Suzerain or some Ratchet, we'll have to see. For now, though, it's time to cue the outro. All right, Frag out. I'll catch you guys later.